We at the CPR Worldwide Media Network, your constitutional patriot radio station, would like to take a moment to reach out to a portion of our listening audience, to the NSA, the mainstream media, to liberals masquerading as conservatives who would like to see us off the air, and to those who are spinning their wheels trying to take us down. We have a special message just for you. At the CPR Worldwide Media Network, we're happy to be your 24/7, 365 obsession because, while you have your little panties in a wad, we're speaking truth to power, telling real conservatives what you don't want them to hear, the truth. And we're not gonna stop. Now then, back under your collective bridges with the rest of your fellow trolls, and oh yes, thanks for listening to CPR.
This is a station identification moment. You're listening to CPR Worldwide Media, a division of CPR Media Network, coming to you live right across the planet. Check out our website at www.cprworldwidemedia.com and our Facebook page at facebook.com/CPR Worldwide Media. This is CPR Media Network, coming to you live from the USA.
Well, looky here, a new listener. Hey, this ain't your little sister's radio station.
You're listening to Right Side Patriots on CPR Worldwide Media.
We the people.
And welcome to Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. Right Side Patriots on the air. Craig Andreessen from the National Patriot with Diane Sori from the Patriot Factor. And Diane, despite all obstacles, we are on the air.
Yes, we are. Wait, we need our official salute.
The bugle salute.
Officially on the air with the bugle salute. And let's tell our listeners, boy, did we have a hell of a week because we got hit, what was it, every 3 minutes or so during our Wednesday show?
Yeah, every 1 to 3 minutes we were getting hit from somewhere, something, some of them coming up with no longitude or latitude in the ping, and that's a pretty good indicator that somebody's trying to hide. And we know who's hiding. Hello,
Hi, NSA. Hi, Obama. We know we're over the target if you keep hitting us, so come on. We're going to get the word out.
Now, what was it that we said on Wednesday that was so offensive to them? I mean, other than the 2 hours that we were on the air.
I guess just our being is offensive to them.
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, pretty much the entire show would be offensive to the regime. So
exactly.
And, Diane and I are okay with that, and we hope you are too, because we're not going to let up today either. I mean, it's just one of those days, I was looking. I got to tell you, right here at the top of the show, I'm looking at the calendar this morning. Do you realize we are now less than a week away from Independence Day?
Yes, and I would love to have independence from Barack Hussein Obama and his regime.
Wouldn't we all?
Do you think that can happen? Do you think Congress could get off their asses this week and, do the articles of impeachment and then arrest his sorry butt? Do you think we can do it in a week, folks?
I mean, we got from Monday through Thursday to get it done.
Exactly. I mean, come on, folks. You've stalled long enough. Come on, Congress. Do something that you were elected to do. Uphold our laws.
Speaking of getting people off their lazy butts, what do you say we wake up our moderate Muslim intern, Mohammed Hussein Obama, in a cave in the mountains of Tora Bora to get today's quick hitter list? What do you think?
Absolutely. Let's go. Wake him up.
Mohammed! How would you like to have that on your alarm clock every morning?
How would you like to have him on your alarm clock?
He carries an alarm clock. Unfortunately, it's tied to sticks of dynamite. But but that he's moderate. He's a moderate Muslim.
Being that there really is no such thing as a moderate Muslim, I guess he comes as close as you can to get to be one, because at least he takes his bombs off at night when he goes night-night.
Yeah, well.
And then puts them back on in the morning.
That's because he wets the rock he sleeps on.
Oh, that reminds me, we have more underwear nonsense today.
We do, and it's right there on the quick hitters that he just sent over. But you know what's first on there?
What?
You're not going to believe this. This is a little weird. You know how liberals are all flabbergasted over the name of the Washington Redskins, and they want to change the name.
Absolutely,
right?
Yes.
And never mind that there is a high school up here near where I live, out on the Navajo Indian Reservation, that is 100% Navajo. Every single student in the school is a Navajo Indian, and it's the Red Butte Redskins.
Okay.
But what are you going to do? Red Mesa Redskins.
Okay.
But now in Minnesota, apparently this happened like a month ago, and we're just getting word of it now. Liberals in Minnesota have passed a bill through the state legislature there, because apparently in a lot of the lakes, Minnesota, the land of 10 bazillion lakes, they have a lot of Asian carp that are swimming around in the lakes. Now, these things came from Asia. They've been released in the United States in various places. They breed like crazy. You would think they were underwater rabbits, the way they breed. And they cause some damage to the ecosystem. They eat other fish. They eat apparently an inordinate amount of whatever floats around in lake and stream water. And so these Asian carp have become a problem. Well, so much of a problem, in fact, that the liberals in Minnesota passed a bill to rename the Asian carp to the invasive carp.
Oh, how stupid. Is it strictly because, as I'm looking at a picture of them, they have a little yellow on their back, yellow skin?
Well, they're saying that the name Asian is offensive to Asians.
I didn't know that the name of your ethnic group would be offensive to you. I mean, I'm not offended by being called white or being called Caucasian. I cannot imagine Asians being offended because they're called Asians. And better yet, if this fish is so invasive, why did we bring them over here?
Well, I don't know if we brought them over, but somebody did. And now now they're going to call them in Minnesota the invasive carp instead of the Asian carp. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Diane, but wasn't it back when like when Negroes decided they wanted to be called black, and this was
right
before they decided they wanted to be called African American. Okay,
right.
So you kind of get that time frame. Wasn't it about then that the Orientals decided they wanted to be called Asians?
It could very well be. I mean, this political correctness is really, really getting out of hand. But listen to this. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers have already been fighting other invasive species. The black carp from China, the silver carp from Vietnam, the grass carp, again from China. They're invading into the Great Lakes. I mean, all these things coming from the Far East. I guess they really are taking us over, aren't they?
There's one called the black carp?
No, no, the yes, I'm sorry, the black carp. Uh-oh.
Well, we're going to have to change that.
Oh, no, here we go. What are they going to change it to? The African American carp? The Negro carp? Or is it going to be the carp of no color? I mean, this political correctness crap has really gone too far.
Well, yeah, the crap is now invading the carp. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, folks. I mean, what are you going to do? Are you going to change the name of black bears now?
Yep. Let's see, we got black bears. How about the Siberian tiger? Is that going to be next? Because we might upset the few Russians that are in this country that come from the Siberian region of Russia. I mean, come on, people, this is getting ludicrous.
Siberian huskies.
That's right. French poodles.
French poodles. Malamute huskies. What, are we going to piss off the Eskimos now?
Yeah, Mexican chihuahuas, the little doggies. I mean, this is just getting ridiculous, folks. This is what Congress, state congresses, state legislatures, this is what they're wasting their time on, wasting our money on.
Yeah, if you've got nothing, if you've got no other problems in the state of Minnesota, if everything else in Minnesota is just okie dokie, then go ahead and introduce a bill into your state legislature to change the name of a fish. Okay, but if you have even one other problem, I guarantee you whatever that problem is bigger than the fish problem, the name of the fish.
I would assume so. Well, the liberal mind just doesn't work like our minds do. It just has no common sense. I think, the gene for common sense was left out of their DNA.
Yeah, they take the short bus to the common sense school.
Absolutely.
Look at this. Now, just the other day, we were talking about this, and it's back on our quick hitters. We were talking about the DHS down around El Paso was wanting people to donate thousands of pairs of underwear for illegal aliens. And They wanted everything from medium size to 6XL. And the other day when we were talking about this on the air, Diane, we were wondering, 6XL? What are you going to do with 6XLs? And, I have not been able to quit thinking about it since Wednesday. And I think I finally figured it out. I think I know what they're going to do with the 6XLs.
What?
Well, look, most of these illegals that are pouring across the border right now are kids, right?
Yes.
Kids don't need 6XLs unless you're going to use them as hammocks.
Or the 6XL could be going to the terrorists that are sneaking through with the children so they have plenty of room to fit their bombs in their underwear.
Well, I mean, look, I can just see a bunch of illegal alien kids in a military, babysitter daycare that Obama's using them for, and they're you got GIs that are stringing these 6XL underwear, stretching them out between a couple of poles, and kids sleeping in them.
Yeah, but they'd fall through the leg holes.
Yeah, well, that's part of the problem when you come over here as an illegal. But that's not the only underwear thing we've got today.
Oh, no, this one is really, really good. And this, all of us on the right, we are all against amnesty. Absolutely. Illegals, no. Legals, yes. It really is that simple. But now an anti-amnesty group, to send the message that we don't want amnesty, has posted online that all of us on the right should mail our soiled underwear to Obama and Boehner.
Oh, my God.
Maybe diapers, but our underwear, I don't know.
Oh, my God.
Does it get any more ludicrous? And this is on our side.
These are our people, and it's, look, I'm sorry, but it's funny.
It is funny.
Can you imagine, the delivery? And,
yes.
and, you've got crates of skid-marked underwear.
Yeah, but here's the statement that they're putting up. This is their logic behind it. Instead of using our tax money to buy illegals 42,000 pairs of new underwear, we should send the illegals and DC politicians a message by mailing them our used underwear, and some of our pairs are in really bad shape due to the bad economy and all the jobs illegal immigrants are taking from Americans. They are right with that sentiment.
Well, they are.
But using our dirty underwear to make that statement, come on, guys. I know you're on our side, but think this through. What good is dirty underwear going to do? In fact, it's going to make us seem like loons. This is a bad idea all the way around.
I'm not so sure, because I see product placement in this. You know, when you go to the movies, you always see product placement. Somebody's always drinking like a Bud Light, or
Yes.
you see little signs in the background, for like Verizon or something like that. So there's always product placement. So I see the possibility for a great advertisement in this.
Okay.
Okay, the delivery pulls up in front of the White House at 1600 Pennsylvania, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Obama's out there signing for the delivery, pops open the box, and there are hundreds, maybe thousands of pairs of soiled underwear in the box. And then the tagline pops up and says, "What can Brown do for you?"
Oh, dear. Well, in case anybody wants to join in this, let me give you the two addresses. You can mail your used underwear directly to Barack Obama at the White House, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest, Washington, D.C., 20500. And you can mail them to John Boehner at Office of the Speaker, H-232, The Capitol, Washington, D.C., 20515. Have at it, guys. The more the merrier. But my underwear is clean, so my underwear won't be in there.
And I'm saying, if you're going to do it, folks, do it right. Before you mail them off, go eat at the all-you-can-eat bean burrito buffet. Then wait a couple hours,
That's
and then
probably humor for the day.
I'm just saying, if you're going to do it right. What do we got next year? Oh, look at this. Obama was making a speech the other day, and it turned into a little pity party.
Little? I call it a major pity party.
I mean, and the funny thing was, it didn't seem like he had his teleprompters with him. It seemed like he was winging it. And he's up there begging people, pleading with people to forget about all these phony scandals.
Yes.
I mean, it was pathetic. He was stuttering. Wait a minute. We've actually got the audio of this. It's about 3 minutes long, and we'll just play the whole audio here, because you've got to hear this, folks. I mean, he was saying, all these phony scandals are just turning Americans into cynics, and I mean, it right back, because look, the IRS thing's coming back up on him. Benghazi's not going away. I mean, it's all EPA now. It's all coming down around his ears. So let's take a listen to this.
But sometimes the news that's coming off is these are just Washington fights. They're fabricated issues. They're phony scandals that are generated. It's all geared towards the next election or ginning up a base. It's not on the level. And that must feel frustrating. And it makes people cynical, and it makes people turned off from the idea that anything can get done. And if I've got one message today, it's the same message that I gave to that young mom that I mentioned, who I had lunch with before I came here, who wrote me a letter just talking about how she'd done everything right, her and her husband, and she's working hard and raising two beautiful kids, and she has a great life, but it's a struggle, and wondering if anybody in Washington knows it, You know, what I told her is the same thing I want to tell all of you, which is, I know it. You're the reason I ran for office. No, I'm not looking for applause. I want to make this point. I grew up not in tough circumstances, but I was you guys. You know, somebody out here is going through what my mom went through. Somebody out here is going through what my grandma went through. Somebody out here is going through what Michelle and I went through when we were first married and our kids were first born. It's not like I forget. That was just 20 years ago that we were trying to figure out how to buy our first home. It was just 10 years ago when we finished off paying our student loans. You guys are the reason I ran. You're who I'm thinking about every single day. And just because it's not reported in the news, I don't want you to think that I'm not fighting for you. And I'm not always going to get it done as fast as I want, because right now we got a Congress that's dysfunctional. I'll be honest with you, you got a party on the other side whose only rationale, motivation seems to be opposing me. But despite all that, we're making progress. Despite all that, some folks have health care that didn't have it before. Despite all that, some students are able to afford their education better. Despite all that, some folks have jobs that didn't have it. Despite all that, the Green Line got built here in Minnesota. Despite all that, we can make life a little better for American families who are doing their best, working hard, meeting their responsibilities. And I don't want you to ever forget that. And I don't want you to be cynical. Cynicism is popular these days, but hope's better. Thanks, everybody.
Oh, boo. Oh, poor Barack. Oh, my God.
What a whiner.
Jeez. It's all about him. You know, he says, I'll be honest with you. We've got a whole party here that's just opposed to me.
You notice how the is and all that come out when he's unscripted? The man can't think on his own without his trusty little teleprompter.
Well, I mean, for goodness sakes, to get up there and whine about phony scandals. Benghazi, that's a phony scandal. The IRS, that's a phony scandal.
I've got a list sitting in front of me of the top 20 phony scandals.
Go ahead.
With Obama. I'm not going to read all 20, folks. However, they range from the IRS targeting conservative groups in the Tea Party all the way down to spying on the Associated Press, the one about Sebelius running an extortion racket, Obama's Pigford scandal. Let's see what else we've got here. We've got government-paid escort service for illegals to come to the USA. Of course, we have Benghazi. We have the IRS scandal. We have giving weapons to Al-Qaeda, the Taliban, and ISIS, using our military assets to train soldiers.
Hold on right there. I thought you were going to read off the phony scandals, because everything you've read off so far is real.
Exactly, but Obama lists them as phony scandals against him.
And gets
these
up
are
there.
His listings. How dare, these people are accusing me of this, and this, but no, these aren't scandals. These are phony scandals, because I didn't do any of this. Remember, guys, I don't take responsibility for anything. It's all Bush's fault.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about the guy that's in charge of everything takes responsibility for nothing.
Exactly.
I mean, the fact that he would get up there in Minnesota and whine to people in Minnesota where they have Asian carp.
I was just thinking that. I mean, that's more important. The Asian carp have to be PC before you handle the scandals. But I mean,
for God's
this man
sakes.
is just ridiculous. Guys,
well,
Mitt Romney said, you built it, you own it. Mitt Romney was right. Obama built all these scandals all by himself. Bush didn't help him. The people didn't help him. He built these all by himself. It's time he takes responsibility for his actions. But maybe the only way that's going to happen is when he's, behind some bars.
I'm just saying that entire speech was pathetically embarrassing. I mean, I've never in my life heard an American president give up and stand up there in front of a group of people and give such a speech. That's embarrassing.
Well, his whole administration, his whole tenure has been an embarrassment to this country. So
True.
what's adding in another one? So now he's actually done it in a speech.
Well, and let's be honest. A good portion of Congress, and I'm talking from both sides of the aisle, are embarrassing too. And
yes.
If you're one of those people that's just too busy to call your congressman and say, "Hey, what are you doing?" or call your congressman and go, "What the hell?" Okay,
Exactly.
you don't have time to do it. We have the answer for you. It'll only cost you $5, $4.95 to be exact.
Exactly. Well, you know what's really funny? The polls keep saying that he has a 35% approval rating, which is very bad, but that he does have a 35% of the American population that think he's doing a great job. Now, what I want to know, who are these 35% idiots that think this man is doing a great job? Remember, Nixon resigned for a lot less than 20 phony scandals, as Obama calls them. Nixon resigned over one wiretapping incident, which, by the way, every president has always done. Nixon just had the misfortune of being caught, but that's a whole other story.
It was the wiretapping, and then there was the allegation that he was using the IRS. Oh, wait a minute. Obama is using the IRS.
Exactly. That's what I meant by Nixon resigned for a lot less.
We've only got a couple of minutes left in this segment, folks. If you want to harangue your congressperson, but you don't have the time to do it, there is a company that will do it for you.
And they'll do it for $4.95. They will keep harassing them, and it's called Amplified, AMPLIFYD. You can influence policy by them constantly calling your congressman for $4.95.
How cool is this? I mean, seriously. You could spend $4.95 and have your own lobbyist on demand call up and harangue Nancy Pelosi or John Boehner or Harry Reid, or that idiot in Minnesota, Al Franken, and tell Franken to change the name back to Asian carp.
Exactly.
Whatever is grinding on you, you could get, amplified to call and harass your congressperson. How cool is this?
I mean, it really, in a way, is cool. It was founded by a man named Scott Blankenship, and he did it because he was very unhappy with certain things that were going on in Washington. And he's a self-described health conscientious individual who leans libertarian, and he started this because he was passionate about the anti-fluoridation issue. So, and he was tired of just redialing. So he founded this company. And you know what? As ludicrous as it sounds, if you're that lazy, folks, that you can't pick up your phone and, press a few buttons, this is for you.
It is. This is the perfect answer. You can mail your dirty underwear next week. You can harangue a congressman for $4.95. You can yell at Minnesota to change the name back to Asian carp from invasive carp. And you can wait for Obama to come out and name some more phony scandals. It's a whole week's worth of fun.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. And it's going to be a short week next week, folks, because, for once we've got a major holiday that falls on a Friday.
Yes.
So we get a nice 3-day weekend out of the whole thing. I know people are planning road trips and vacations and barbecues and parades and all sorts of things, rodeos. It's all part of the 4th of July and Independence Day, but don't forget what it's all about, and that is our nation's independence. Diane, we've got a lot to cover today. We're going to take a short break, come back, and talk about a couple of major Supreme Court decisions that came down that might have Obama crying again.
Yeah, crying and whining.
So hang on, folks. Don't go anywhere. Right Side Patriots will be back after a short break.
Dad, Katy Perry is coming to town. Can we get tickets, please?
Tickets? Sure, how many?
Well, there's Hannah and Maddie and Jen and Sarah and Sarah.
Whoa, hold on. Here it comes. We can't forget about your older sister.
Thank you.
Seriously? What? I get 2 times the thank you points on each ticket. Can I come? Yeah.
The City Thank You Preferred Card. Now earn 2 times the points on entertainment and dining out with no annual fee. To apply, go to city.com/thankyoucards.
Read something recently worth thinking about. It's the soldier, not the campus organizer, who's given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier who serves under the flag, who defends the protesters' right to burn the flag. Isn't it time now to demonstrate that we support our troops? Were it not for the brave, there'd be no land of the free.
Fred Thompson's message was brought to you by citizensunited.org.
Sometimes I wanna light up underneath the no smoking sign. Sometimes I wish they'd tell me how justice got so blind. I wish they'd just leave me alone, 'cause I'm doing alright. You can take your change on down the road and leave me here with mine. 'Cause that ain't my America, that ain't this country's roots. You wanna slam old Uncle Sam, but I ain't letting you. I'm mad as hell and you know I still bleed red, white, and blue. They ain't us, that ain't my America. That ain't my America. I was standing there in Dallas, waiting on a plane. I overheard an old man tell a young soldier thanks. The young soldier hung his head and said, "It's hard to believe you're the only one who took the time to say a word to me." And the old man said, "That ain't my America, that ain't this country's roots. You wanna slam old Uncle Sam, but I ain't letting you. Yeah, I'm mad as hell and you know I still bleed red, white, and blue. They ain't us, that ain't my America. That ain't my America." It's to the women and men in their hands that hold a Bible and a gun, and they ain't afraid of nothing when they're holding either one. Now there's kids that can't pray in school, $100 tanks of gas. I can tell you right now, this country ain't supposed to be like that. No, that ain't my America, that ain't this country's roots. You wanna slam old Uncle Sam, but I ain't letting you. Yeah, I'm mad as hell and you know I still bleed red, white, and blue.
That Ain't My America. Leonard Skinner for you on a Saturday. And Craig and Diane, your Right Side Patriots, back with you on the air. And Diane, we got to talk about the Supreme Court decisions that came down last week. We've got more to come. I know there's going to be a major one on Monday dealing with the whole Hobby Lobby issue. But we had two huge decisions come down. And I cannot remember in recent memory a major Supreme Court decision that went 9-0.
I know, it's amazing, but Ginsburg and her ilk actually put their glass of Kool-Aid down and actually followed the Constitution.
What in the world happened? I mean,
I don't know.
You know, this is the thing, folks, and this is what we as conservatives have been saying. Diane's been writing about it in the Patriot Factor. I've been writing about it in the National Patriot. We've talked about it here on Right Side Patriots on CPR. There are separations of powers listed in the Constitution. Who gets to do what? And Obama has been ignoring that. He's been writing that off, tearing it up, lighting it on fire, and throwing it away. And you got to go back a couple of years. And he wanted to make these recess appointments to the National Labor Relations Board. And Congress has the ability to stay in session if that's what they choose to do.
Yes.
And they did, primarily to block him, Obama, from making these recess appointments. So Obama said, well, you know what? You're not really in session, so I'm going to make the recess appointments anyway. And he did. And it finally wound up at the Supreme Court in this session. The ruling came down on Wednesday afternoon, I believe it was, and Obama was voted against 9-0.
Yeah, it actually was Thursday afternoon, and the reason Obama used this excuse was because the Senate was holding only pro forma sessions every 3 days. Excuse me, instead of being in session every day. He tried to wiggle around by using that. Well, guess what, folks? It didn't work.
Well, according to the Supreme Court, Congress tells the president when they are on recess, not the other way around. And because Congress told Obama, we are not in recess. We are still in session, pro forma or otherwise. That constitutes a session of Congress that has not ended. And according to the Supreme Court, the only time Congress is actually really in recess is when one Congress ends and before the other one begins.
Right. But the one thing, this is a victory for us. Please don't get it, wrong, folks, that it's not. But the majority opinion by Justice Stephen Breyer did not go further and strike down most other methods by which presidents fill key jobs when the Senate is unavailable. What he did and what the SCOTUS did was keep it just to this one issue. Obama can still use his silly pen and phone for now. Right. Other cases will be coming up. But right now, at least this is one victory on our side.
Well, and here's part of the big deal on this, folks, is that he appointed 3 members to the NLRB, National Labor Relations Board. And because without those 3, there was only 2, they needed 5 to make decisions. And those decisions affect businesses, whether they're union businesses or non-union businesses. There is an effect that's had.
Exactly.
Now that NLRB with those 3 illegal appointees made over 1,800 decisions between the time they were appointed and the time they got replaced. So now literally hundreds, if not almost 2,000 decisions that were handed down, regulations that were put in place by the NLRB are going to have to be looked at one by one by one. And technically, all 1,800 of those regulations are now illegal. And I guarantee you that in the vast hundreds of those regulations, they had negative effects on business owners and businesses. And I guarantee you they forced some businesses out of business with some of those regulations. Folks, we have not even scratched the surface on this one yet, because there's going to be businesses coming out of the woodwork filing lawsuits against the government and the NLRB over these regulations that were enacted illegally because the people who enacted them were appointed illegally.
Exactly. And that, it goes back to what a pro forma session is. What happened was what Breyer ruled was that the president made the recess appointments during a break that was too short to actually count as a recess. In other words, he tried to slide it in. But now here's something interesting. If the Republicans can take control of the Senate in November, and whenever the White House and the Senate are controlled by opposite parties, the High Court's ruling will prevent any president from sidestepping the Constitution. The Constitution's confirmation process during similar 3-day recesses. This is what these type of slippery, sneaky presidents try to do. They try to sneak things in during little recesses that are not legally recesses.
Well, and it's time to put a stop to this. And this is what the Supreme Court did. And the most amazing part of it was they voted 9-0.
Exactly.
I mean, that's huge. That's a shutout. That's a no-hitter.
Exactly. I mean, it's a brazen power grab by the president. That's what it is. It's an in-our-face brazen power grab. He's supposed to be a constitutional professor. Well, it's not our Constitution that he's a professor of. I guarantee you it's some muzzy Constitution.
Yeah, he's not a constitutional. He's a constipational.
Yeah, extremely. That's why he whines so much. He's full of crap.
I mean, to tell you. But, Diane, that wasn't the only ruling that came down on Thursday either. There was another very important ruling. And, there was a lot of people out there, a lot of the right-to-lifers out there that were jumping up and down and screaming and yelling. They were happy. I mean, they were absolutely thrilled with this. And they said, well, this is a right-to-life issue. In a way, maybe, but I'll tell you what, this is really a First Amendment issue, because there had been a law passed that kept protesters at least 35 feet away from the entrance of any abortion clinic.
Yes.
Okay, so the right-to-life people, when they wanted to protest an abortion clinic, they had to stay at least 35 feet away, which, in the grand scheme of things, isn't that far.
No,
but
it isn't. Depending
on the building, depending on the where it is, and so on and so forth, it could be a big deal. So they had to stay at least 35 feet away. Well, this also went to the Supreme Court in this session, and the Supreme Court, in a narrower ruling than 9-0, though, but they ruled that the First Amendment, the right to freedom of expression, can extend all the way to the front door of those clinics.
Yeah, but you know what? When I think about it, this ruling is kind of a double-edged sword, because if the pro-life people are allowed to go that close, what's going to happen to that nutcase who protests at our soldiers' funerals? Will they now be allowed to go right in your face to the families of the grieving?
Well,
it is a two-edged sword here, folks.
It is, but I'll tell you how you fix that problem. Is you get the bikers, the Rolling Thunder, the Patriot bikers out there, and you put them between the protesters and the funerals. Just the way they've been doing. Now, if those Westboro Baptist bastards can get through the bikers, and get up there and protest the funeral, I wish them luck trying.
But you know what? No, it's not just that. It's not just that. You can have all types of groups now saying, well, if the pro-lifers can go up to the front, so can we. You can have the atheist groups, the ones that want to put up their Satan statues all over the place. You could have anyone who doesn't like a law, whatever. You can have the pro-amnesty people going right up to everything now. This ruling is not as good as people think. 35 feet is nothing, folks. When we work the polls on election day as poll watchers, we have to stand 100 feet back from the polls. And all we're doing is watching. We're not doing anything else.
Right.
Yet protesters now can go within 35 feet. I don't think people realize how little 35 feet is. But they can now go within that 35 feet. But you have now opened the door for every loon case in the world to be right in your face.
But all I'm saying is, that's the way it ought to be. It's freedom of speech, freedom of expression. Now here's the part of it that I have not heard. And for this you have to go back about a year, maybe a year and a half. Obama made it illegal to protest the President of the United States within earshot of the Secret Service.
Yes.
So for instance, if you wanted to stand on the sidewalk out front of the White House and tell Obama that he's a Muslim piece of trash, you could only do it if the Secret Service could not hear you. If they could hear you, they could come out and arrest you. Now, I wonder how this affects that.
That's what I mean by it's opening up a can of worms. I'm not disagreeing with the ruling as far as the pro-lifers, but what I'm saying is, we gained one thing on our side, but we opened up a huge can of worms on the other side. The bikers can't be at every military funeral. The bikers can't be at every rally, this and that. The pro-religious people cannot be at every atheist rally. And now there's going to be brouhahas going on all over the place. This ruling is not quite what it seems, in my opinion.
And on the other hand, I'm all for it. I mean, we're supposed to, as American citizens, regardless of your opinion on a given topic, you have the right to express it.
Yes,
and you should have the right to express it where it needs to be expressed. Now, you look at the Bundy Ranch out there, okay? They put people in a pen and called it a free speech zone.
Correct,
okay?
And that was an abomination.
That's going to end now too, I think, because of this. I think it's going to do away with those things. Look, as conservatives, as Republicans, as concerned citizens, we have to accept that there might be leftist loons out there protesting some of the things that we go to or some of the events that we have. But we have to be able to deal with that. And I guarantee you, we are in a much better position to deal with it than the liberals.
Well, who's really going to get hurt, I think, by this ruling? There's going to be problems now, I believe, at some of the Tea Party rallies, because there is a group in this country that is so anti the Tea Party. And I personally am a Tea Publican. I want to bring the Republican Party to the Tea Party values. So we call ourselves Tea Publicans. It was kind of coined by Ted Cruz. Anyway, you're going to have these loons now in your face at Tea Party rallies.
They already are.
There's going to be violence. Don't think that these loons are going to just protest nicely like the pro-lifers do. They're going to be obnoxious pieces of you-know-what. There's going to be problems, folks. This ruling, it's great for the pro-lifers. But I'm not convinced that it's going to be applicable across the board. There's going to be problems.
And I say bring it on. And here's why. everybody and their mother's dog now carries a cell phone capable of shooting videos.
Yes.
So you got your Tea Party rally, like you just described. You got these leftist loons that come in there and try to raise havoc,
yes,
and create a problem and start violence and pushing and shoving. There are going to be so many citizen journalist cameras pointed at them, they can run, but they can't hide. We're going to be able to show exactly who these people are.
Yeah, but that's fine. But they've already done the damage they intended to do.
The damage is going to backfire on them. Once those videos go public, it's going to backfire on them.
I sure hope so.
When we as conservatives stage a protest, when we stage an event, we leave the place better than we found it.
Absolutely.
When the pro-lifers are protesting at the abortion clinics, you know, in the 99 percentile, there is no violence that breaks out. Yes, there have been.
There have been bombings of abortion clinics.
And these idiots that do things like that. I mean, they are idiots. And,
yes.
and when they're caught, they deserve to go away.
Exactly.
They deserve to be put behind bars. All
exactly.
Right? But when you drive by an abortion clinic, you will see people standing outside with signs, maybe with a Bible, maybe somebody praying. You know, it's nonviolent. In the 99 percentile, it's nonviolent. However, you go to a liberal gathering, a liberal type protest. Think of the Occupy Wall Street deals and the violence that took place. This is liberal on liberal violence, for God's sakes. There was rapes, there was assaults, there were shootings, there was a couple of killings, people crapping on cop cars. Look at the mess they made, the damage they did. Okay?
Yes.
If they want to walk into a gathering of conservatives, Tea Party rally, and they want to cause problems like that, they will be filmed doing it. And we will know.
They've already done it. They've already done it. That's the point.
Then it changes nothing. I mean, it allows us to get where we need to get to do the protests that we feel are necessary. It also allows
gives them the right to do the same thing.
As long as we behave like rational human beings on our side and let them be the irrational idiots on their side, and we film the whole process, they're going to lose. They're going to lose in the court of public opinion.
Yes, they will. They will lose. However, they have done their damage, and that's what bothers me. They've done their damage.
They're going to do it whether they're
come out later.
They're going to do it whether they're 35 feet away or whether they're 33 inches away. It doesn't matter. They're going to do what they're going to do.
That's true.
This evens the playing field. This allows what the founders and framers wanted was freedom of expression. You cannot jump up and yell fire in a crowded theater.
No.
Okay, that's insane.
And you're not supposed to incite violence or the overthrow of the government. I mean, that's right in the First Amendment.
And those are protected, okay? So if the liberals come into a conservative event and cause those kind of problems, there are laws to deal with that. You know, but this levels the playing field. This is what the founders and framers intended. Now, it's unfortunate that the Supreme Court did not see this as a 9-0 deal. Okay?
Well, of course they wouldn't, because they then looked at it as the pro-abortion versus the anti-abortion.
Right. And so you had a much closer decision, but still it went the way of the Constitution.
Yes.
You know, and that's the important thing. You know, we need Supreme Courts that are constitutional. You know, that the jurists on the Supreme Court will make their decisions in accordance to the founders and framers' vision. And that's what we lack on the Supreme Court right now. We have the majority.
That's true. That's true.
But when you got people like, Whistler's
Roberts.
mother.
Roberts.
Roberts, Whistler's mother, Ginsburg, some of those people on there, you never know. With Ginsburg, she's always going to go to the left, except for the 9-0 one, which is just shocking.
That was amazing. That one, to me, was totally amazing. I mean, these people actually had to put their Kool-Aid glasses down for a little bit and think with some common sense and rule by the Constitution. That must have, just killed them.
Oh, it had to have. I mean, holy crap,
Yes.
But folks, on Monday, the ruling on the Hobby Lobby case is supposed to come out. Now, depending on how this goes, Hobby Lobby says if it doesn't go their way, they might be closing every single store they have because of it. And they won't be the only ones that are going to be looking at it from that standpoint. So it's going to be a huge decision dealing with Obamacare coming down from the Supreme Court on Monday morning. So we're going to be watching that. We'll have information for you on that and the fallout from it on Wednesday right here on Right Side Patriots. But right now we're going to have to take another quick break, have a little bit more music. When we come back, it's all about government accountability or the lack thereof. You will be stunned by what is going on, both at the VA and at the IRS. Folks, you don't want to miss it. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Right Side Patriots.
Just an old black sheep from the family tree. I'm now a vet and a victim of society. Hell, I stood by the gun just to keep us free. Now my own damn country's turned its back on me. You wanna judge me by my leathers and the steel I ride? Well, you don't know me. You need to step aside. Don't tread on me. You don't tread on me. From the Revolution War to the Middle East, I come back to a country that's lost its peace. And now here I stand on the promised land, free and a slave to Uncle Sam. You wanna judge me by my leathers and the steel I ride? Well, you don't know me. You need to step aside. Don't tread on me. You don't tread on me. Well, you think you know me, but you haven't got a clue. I stood and fought so that you would not have to. Don't tread on me. Yeah, don't tread on me. You wanna judge me by my leathers and the steel I ride? Well, you don't know me. You need to step aside. Don't tread on me. Now don't tread on me. Now don't tread on me. Now don't tread on me. Yeah, the old Middle East is like a man down. The old W's, K-I-A's, M-I-A. And I fight little soldiers in a foreign land.
Citigold is an account from a global bank with over 200 years' experience, offering international banking expertise across over 100 markets. Your dedicated investment consultant adds a unique personal touch to your banking experience. Complimentary lifestyle offers like Marhaba service and free global money transfers help you save on time and money. At the core of Citigold is your dedicated relationship manager, personally looking after your financial needs. Be it lifestyle privileges like golf, lounge access across the Middle East, or worldwide privileges, Citigold provides you with a rewarding experience. One card is all you need for all your Citibank accounts. As a Citigold client, you benefit from our international expertise and global reach. Citigold is more than an account. It's a personal banking service offering exceptional privileges, customer service and recognition worldwide. So wherever you are, Citigold will be with you.
We at the CPR Worldwide Media Network, your constitutional patriot radio station, would like to take a moment to reach out to a portion of our listening audience. To the NSA, the mainstream media, to liberals masquerading as conservatives who would like to see us off the air, and to those who are spinning their wheels trying to take us down, we have a special message just for you. At the CPR Worldwide Media Network, we're happy to be your 24/7, 365 obsession because, while you have your little panties in a wad, we're speaking truth to power, telling real conservatives what you don't want them to hear, the truth, and we're not gonna stop. Now then, back under your collective bridges with the rest of your fellow trolls, and oh yes, thanks for listening to CPR.
This is a station identification moment. You're listening to CPR Worldwide Media, a division of CPR Media Network, coming to you live right across the planet. Check out our website at www.cprworldwidemedia.com and our Facebook page at facebook.com/CPR Worldwide Media. This is CPR Media Network, coming to you live from the USA.
Well, looky here, a new listener. Hey, this ain't your little sister's radio station.
And we're back for a second hour of Right Side Patriots on CPR Worldwide Media.
We, the people.
The Bickersons have rejoined Right Side Patriots. Diane Sorey from the PatriotFactor.blogspot.com. Me, Craig Andreessen from thenationalpatriot.com. And are we done fighting, Diane? Are we going to get along now?
I didn't know we were fighting about something. What were we fighting about?
We were coming at that thing, the Supreme Court decision, from a couple of different angles. You're saying that the freedom of speech thing opens up a can of worms. I'm saying bring it on.
No. I didn't say freedom of speech opens up a can of worms.
No, I'm talking about the decision. See, we're still fighting.
The way they ruled opens up a can of worms. Not their ruling was correct, but how they worded it opens up a can of worms. Big difference.
And I'm saying bring it on. But, I think we can get past this. I think you and I can get past our differences on this if you just have a bugle and calm down.
Oh, okay. Wait. Your wish is my command. The bugles are here, and it is. Bugle might be a good pick-me-up right now. Okay.
There it is. The bugle crunch heard around the world.
Exactly.
Oh, my goodness. Diane, we've got a lot to do yet today. Just another hour on the show to get it done. If you missed Wednesday's show, we covered a lot of territory on Wednesday. We're going to rebroadcast that right after this show at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, so you don't want to miss that. Also coming up yet today, things that bug us. And that's always a lot of fun because we get a few things off our chest in that. But we also need to talk about the VA and the IRS. If you want to call in, folks, be a part of the show today, please do. 928-255-0201 is the phone number. 928-255-0201. This is about accountability and the lack thereof in government. Now, we're all aware of the VA scandal. Diane, you've written a lot about it. I've written a lot about it. We've talked a lot about it right here on the show. And what you have is the Veterans Affairs cooking the books, putting our veterans on waiting lists that they hide. People are dying. Our veterans have literally died waiting to be seen by VA doctors. We have others that have grown more and more ill, waiting to see the VA doctors. And one of the excuses that the VA has put in on this is that, well, we just don't have enough money to see all the veterans the way we should or keep the line moving as we should. Well, now it comes out that back in 2011, this is while this scandal was in progress, the VA in Phoenix, where the scandal broke, actually, they spent $420 million, Diane, to build a solar-powered carport. I mean, how insane are these people? And we've got a couple of callers on the line here. Folks, did you realize that...
Craig, wait. One of them is me. One of the callers is me. I'm now on my phone here because our whole system, at least on my end, went down. So I'll have to finish the rest of the show unless you can bring me back in.
Well, and I'll try to do that.
Again.
Now, we do have a legitimate caller. Not that you're an illegitimate caller, but we do have an actual caller on the air.
Okay.
And who's with us on the phones right now?
Okay, I think I'm back in.
Okay. Caller, are you there? Okay, apparently our caller is no longer there, so we'll drop them off the radar here. But Diane, $420 million for a solar-powered carport?
Yes. I mean, is this ludicrous? Our veterans can't get the services they so desperately need. We're talking about people with post-traumatic. We're talking about our troops coming home with no arms, with no legs, with head wounds, with serious injuries. The VA claims they don't have money to treat them right now. They're fooling around with lists. They're pulling all sorts of crap. But hey, they can have money for a solar-powered carport.
In Phoenix, of all places.
In Phoenix. Yeah, I mean, this is a national shame. It really is a national shame because these people put their lives on the line every day to keep us safe and free at home. And yet when they come home, we turn our backs on them.
I know,
this
it's insane.
This is a national disgrace.
And I think our caller is back. Caller, are you there? Nope. Our caller keeps trying to come in and they keep dropping off. So I'm
showing they're trying to hit us again.
Well, and there you go. But folks, this is about accountability with the VA. Okay? Don't come crying to us, the American public, telling us that you don't have enough money to hire enough doctors to see the veterans while you're spending $420 million on a solar carport in Phoenix, Arizona.
Exactly.
I mean, priorities. This is about priorities, people. Do you need to treat the veterans more than you need a solar-powered carport? Or is the solar-powered carport more important than people's lives?
I think you just answered your question. Obviously, the carport is more important than the people who fight to keep us free. This administration is so twisted and so warped. But remember, the military has a commander-in-chief who is not on their side. So why not screw them while they're in the battlefield and then continue to screw them when they get home? This is their logic.
I know, it's warped is probably the nicest term that you could actually come up with for this. I mean, it's wasteful spending. Now, look, I know Obama's he's the greeny weenie. He's the all about the green energy. He throws money at solar firms, like crazy. It's insanity. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But when you have the Veterans Administration at a hospital in Phoenix, Arizona, that gets $420 million, how many doctors can you hire for the VA for $420 million? How many treatment plans can you come up with for veterans for the $420 million? I mean, this is insanity that's going on there. But it's not confined to the VA. We've got the exact same irresponsibility, total lack of priorities going on at the IRS. Now, we're all aware that the IRS had a computer hard drive crash at Lois Lerner's desk, and then 6 other hard drives crashed in that office, rendering emails to just poof, go away into thin air, never to be seen again. Well, if you believe that, I'll sell you some prime swampland somewhere. Okay,
let me ask you a question. They say they had a crash of the hard drives. We're all going by what they're saying is the truth.
Well,
did these hard drives really crash?
I personally, no, I don't think they did. I think personally they just got rid of them.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay, but that's my speculation. That's what I think. But here's the deal, folks. Just last week, they had that smug little weasel, the commissioner at the IRS, Koskinen,
yes,
sitting there in front of the House committee.
Yes.
And he's whining and bawling because, the IRS just doesn't have enough money to buy up-to-date computers. Well, excuse me, you bald-headed weasel. The IRS has been spending tens of millions of dollars on stupid conferences and millions of dollars on videos, music videos, and a Star Trek video to motivate the IRS employees.
Yes.
And you don't have enough money to buy a few computers?
It got to the point the testimony was so egregious that Daryl Issa on Greta's program the other night actually said that Koskikin, or whatever his name is, Koskinian's testimony was so egregious that it's one step shy of perjury. Do you realize that Issa has basically accused this man of lying through his teeth? And guess what? Issa's right.
Well, I mean, I'm surprised he said it was a step away. I thought it was a step beyond.
Exactly. Well, he does have to be politically correct to some degree with his position.
I mean, why in the world?
He went on to say, I'm sick and tired of your game playing in response to congressional oversight. That he actually said during the hearing.
But I mean, why not during the hearing when Koskinen was sitting there saying, if we had more money in our budget, we could buy up-to-date equipment. We wouldn't have these problems. Why did not somebody sitting there on that committee say, excuse me, but how many computers could you have purchased for what you paid to have that stupid Star Trek video made? And how many computers could you purchase every year if you didn't spend so many millions of dollars on holding a conference where people sing and dance.
Exactly. I mean, it's ridiculous because ISA actually described Lerner as a co-conspirator, a criminal conspirator actually, regarding the missing emails and the targeting of conservative groups. Those are very serious charges, folks. Very serious charges. The whole entire IRS, if Congress plays this game correctly and follows the Constitution and our rule of law in doing it, they can bring the IRS down.
Well,
and if the IRS goes down, Obama goes down. But what I don't understand, and Isa is the smart man, and I just don't get this, why no one has stood up there before this committee on our side and said, now we want to talk about Obama's connections to this scandal. You know, his brother, who is the head of Secretary of DAWA, who Lois Lerner gave 501c3 status to during that time the emails are missing, and she also gave it to other groups connected to Obama. His grandmother's foundation, who funds Kenyan students going to Saudi Arabia to study Sharia at the most vile of the madrasas, and then come to the United States and set up Sharia compliant enclaves. How come none of our Congress people have had the guts to question this man about those things? Because his grandmother and his brother have been constant visitors to the White House. Obama, he can claim all he wants. I didn't know. He knew damn well.
I think they'll get there. I honestly do. I think they'll get there. I think those items are going to come up because we're far from being done with these hearings. And I think what you've got now is you've got a House committee, or two actually. You've got the Ways and Means Committee and you've got the Oversight Committee, both going at the IRS. And I think they're going to give them just enough rope, and then they're going to let them swing. And once that swing comes, I think you're going to get to this because, look, you got Trey Gowdy sitting in there. You've got, Eric Cantor sitting in there. You got Daryl Issa sitting in there. You've got, I think Jason Chaffetz is on one of those committees.
Uh-huh.
I mean, give them enough rope, let them hang themselves. But, the problem is you've got such a lack of accountability in government. And this is nothing new. This is not solely confined to the Obama regime. The lack of accountability has been a problem in government since government was invented. All right? But it's reached a fever pitch at this point because under this regime, nobody gives a damn. And the whole idea is if you get caught doing something wrong, just blame it on something else or somebody else. The IRS is caught red-handed. And they're saying, well, it's really not our fault that the hard drive crashed and we can't give you the emails because we just didn't have enough money. And then you've got the VA saying, well, okay, so we cooked the books and we had all this, systemic problem where we had these waiting lists that were off the books and we cooked the numbers that were on the books. And we had some people die, some veterans died, okay. But, it wouldn't have happened if we had more money. Well, look at what they're spending money on.
Exactly. This is corruption, folks. Plain and simple, this is corruption. And it does irk me. We do have good people like Trey Gowdy and Isa and the others. But right now, I don't see too much from them. I really don't.
I mean, I understand that the wheels grind slowly when it comes to this kind of justice. They grind even more slowly because you've got the ilk of Eric Holder that absolutely refuses to appoint special investigators. He himself obstructs the investigation, so they grind even more slowly.
True.
And this is part of the problem is that it's a regime-wide bubble that they've put over these investigations. So instead of blowing these things wide open, you got to poke little pinholes in every one of them until you got enough information that you can then blow it wide open. And, somehow we've got to get rid of Eric Holder. And Ted Cruz, you mentioned his name. He came out last week, a few days ago, and said, it's time to impeach this guy.
Yes. Well, Ted Cruz, I'm a big supporter of Ted Cruz, and I'm a T-Publican because of Ted Cruz. But the point is, they're all talking. All of them are talking, but no actions are being done.
Well, and part of the reason for that is that you've got the Senate is in the hands of liberals. And if you're going to impeach somebody, you got to have it go through the House and the Senate. Senat's not going to impeach Eric Holder no any more than they're going to impeach Barack Hussein Obama.
Yes.
All right? Yes. So, you've got to make this such an ironclad case against these people that not even liberals can go against the case. And that takes a lot of time,
Exactly. But the thing is, the American public, I think I can safely speak for the majority on our side. Our patience is running thin. We've waited so long. The crimes, the charges against this regime are so grievous, and everybody is so busy pussyfooting around. And a couple of weeks ago, I put up not a blog item, but just an item on Facebook. Why doesn't the provost marshal go in and arrest this man? Well, guess what? I believe from information that I received that the provost marshal is a Democrat.
Well, there you go.
So we have, even when we think we're on to something, we get thrown another barrier in the way. People are getting tired. And what happens is when you reach a point of tiredness, now I'm not there, but when some people reach a point of tiredness, apathy sets in. They start to give up.
Shall we dare try to take another phone call here? Hi, Right Side Patriots. Who's this? And
can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Who is this?
I just got this ad on Facebook from Diane Sorry. Am I on the radio?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, well, I just got this on Facebook, and I called the number. Yeah, I stand with Diane Sorry with a lot of stuff. It's not all of it.
Well, that's great. That's fantastic. I'll tell you what, folks, we are going to take a short break here, and then we're going to come back with more on Right Side Patriots. We've still got things that bug us that we have to get to today. And, like Diana and I were saying, folks, this is all about accountability. It really is. And if we can't get people to be accountable in government, we're going to have to change the people that are in government. It's just that simple. There simply is no other way to go about it. And we can do it, but we've got to do it in November. That's where it starts. And that's why we have to take the Senate. We've got to have the Senate in conservative or Republican control. There's just no other way. And then come 2016, then we're going to have to take the White House. Hold the House, take the Senate, get the White House, and then we can start turning around the ship of state. It's just that simple, folks.
We got hit again, folks.
Yes, we did, but we got you back.
Yeah.
And that's the important thing, because, folks, let me tell you something. You don't want to get on Diane's bad side. I know. I've done it.
I am really pissed at the NSA right now. More so than normal. More so than usual.
Well, I'll tell you what. It's just, we know they're listening. They listen to every show. We hope we entertain them. We hope they like the music from time to time, and things. But nanny, boo-boo, we're still on the air. I mean, it's just the way it is.
Yeah, they can try to take us down, but they can't. You notice whenever we're slamming the administration, down we go.
But right back up we come because we have the technology to defeat them in most cases, not every case, but,
right.
You know, I mean, look,
we're
folks.
one step ahead of them
like
on certain things.
Like I said, though, folks, you know, the key to doing this is to win in November. Get the Senate. Get the majority in the Senate in November. We have to do that.
That should be our prime goal. You know, I hate to say this, and I do get criticized by BREC, the Broward Republican Executive Committee, of which I'm a member. I do get criticized for saying this, and I'm going to say it again. The local elections must take a back seat right now to the Senate. We must keep the House, increase our numbers in the House, and we must retake that Senate and retake it with a majority so Harry Reid could take his nuclear option and stick it somewhere.
You know, I mean, that's what it comes down to. We've got to start building accountability back into government, and we do that through our elections. And folks, if the people that we elect in November aren't going to hold other people accountable and be accountable themselves, then it's time to vote them out and get somebody else in. We got to keep doing it until we get the right people in who will be accountable, who will take control and do what is constitutionally appropriate.
Exactly. And time is running out, guys, because if we don't do this in November, we're going to be in for 2 years of phones and pens that is going to change our country into a state that we might not be able to change back. It's that serious, folks.
It's a scary thought.
Serious.
It's a scary thought, but it's true. And that's what we've got to do. Folks, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, things that bug us. Diane's clearly bugged. She has been since we started the show. She's bugged now, folks. Stand back. She's going to blow. Folks, we'll be right back after this. Don't go anywhere.
Why do cities shine so bright? It's the glow of opportunities, of ideas bouncing off one another, of countless people, every one of us, striving to succeed. Right now, in cities everywhere, ideas are being born. New thinking that will put us in awe of what people are capable of. That's what lights cities up. And helping people and their ideas to burn even brighter, so that communities, businesses, and you and I can grow. What if a bank made that its job? For more than 200 years, Citi's job has been to help empower people and business. Now, around the world, it's wherever people gather, wherever ideas come alive. It's wherever you are. The world's city.
Read something recently worth thinking about. It's the soldier, not the campus organizer, who's given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier who serves under the flag, who defends the protesters' right to burn the flag. Isn't it time now to demonstrate that we support our troops? Were it not for the brave, there'd be no land of the free.
Fred Thompson's message was brought to you by citizensunited.org.
I'm just trying to be a father, raise a daughter and a son, be a lover to their mother, everything to everyone, up and at 'em bright and early, I'm all business in my suit. Yeah, I'm dressed up for success, from my head down to my boots. I don't do it for the money, there's bills that I can't pay. I don't do it for the glory, I just do it anyway. Providing for our futures, my responsibility. Yeah, I'm real good under pressure, being all that I can be. I can't call in sick on Mondays when the weekend's been too strong. I just work straight through the holidays, sometimes all night long. You can bet that I stand ready when the wolf growls at the door. Hey, I'm solid, hey, I'm steady, hey, I'm true down to the core. And I will always do my duty, no matter what the price. I've counted up the cost, I know the sacrifice. Oh, and I don't want to die for you, but if dying's asking me, I'll bear that cross with honor, 'cause freedom don't come free. I'm an American soldier, an American. Beside my brothers and my sisters, I will proudly take a stand. When liberty's in jeopardy, I will always do what's right. I'm out here on the front lines, sleep in peace tonight. American soldier, I'm an American soldier. Sisters, I will proudly take a stand. When liberty's in jeopardy, I will always do what's right. I'm out here on the front line, so sleep in peace tonight. American soldier, I'm an American, an American. An American soldier.
And we're back on Right Side Patriots. Folks, I got to tell you, Diane and I are doing all we can just to stay on the air today. We got the NSA. Hello, fellas. How's everything in the basement office without windows? Hope you're wearing your pants today. We're getting hit and blipped, and we got phone calls coming in, folks, and we appreciate that. But it seems like every time we try to take one, it causes untoward idiocy to take place.
From the NSA.
Yeah. And so we're gonna dispense with the phone calls for the rest of the show. Now we have tried. We had one of your fans on the air, by the way, Diane, and he said he loves you. He's right with you on the issues and everything. And I wanted to get him on the air, but every time we tried to get him on the air, everything would go kaflooey because let's face it, the NSA just loves us. They love us.
Exactly. And it's more important that we stay on the air. I want to thank that man, whoever he is, for, liking what I have to say. And we'll try to get him on next week. But right now we are being bombarded by people trying to crash us.
But you think that's going to stop us? Oh, no. No, it's not.
No. We are very stubborn, very dedicated, and these pieces of shit are not going to shut us up.
You see, there you go. You got Diane swearing like a sailor again. But, obviously, us being on the air is one of the things that bugs the NSA. But this is the section of the show on Saturdays where we talk about things that bug us.
Yes, absolutely. And as everybody knows, the main thing that bugs me, I woke up again this morning and Barack Hussein Obama is still president. But now I can add into it, the NSA is really getting on my last nerve. They really, really are. Are Craig and I such a threat to you that you have to constantly try to shut us down? Are we that much of a threat to national security that we've been accused of? We're just two little patriots trying to set our country right again.
Hey.
I don't know, Craig.
Let them have their fun and silly games. We'll just continue on, and I'm okay with that.
I am too.
I got to bring up something that's been bugging me, and I understand how people are outraged by what they see in these videos. And I'm talking about and you see them now about every third, every fourth post on Facebook or Twitter or, whatever. But is it really that necessary now that we continue to show these videos that are being made by ISIS where they're either beating the living hell out of somebody or shooting them or beheading them or doing something horrible to an animal? Really?
Well, there's a reason they do that, Craig. It's to desensitize us to where we reach a state where we've seen so much to this, we kind of now have accepted it because it's there. What people don't understand, a little goes a long way. You keep bombarding us with this stuff, you're actually falling into their plan.
You're actually spreading their material for them.
Exactly.
That's what you're
doing.
Their
You're their PR people. We know about the beheadings. We know about the animal abuse. We know about the pedophilia. We know about the raping they do. We know it all. Yes, tell us about it. But by constantly showing pictures, you're spreading their message.
I just can't imagine that there is anybody left out there who is just one kitten killing video away from saying, well, that's it. Now I'm going to be against these people.
Right.
If you're not there already, you're never going to get there.
Exactly. And this goes along with something Craig brought up last week, that Obama's not working for our troops to win the hearts and minds of the enemy. These people like him are working that we submit to the hearts and minds of the enemy. And by posting these things, we're now starting to, like I said, desensitize ourselves to it. It's becoming a norm. It's almost becoming accepted. And Obama's sitting there with a smile, him and his ilk. Because if we're not afraid of it anymore, we kind of accept it. Goes along with my line that I always say about moderate Muslims. There are no such things, because if you don't condemn, you condone. Well, if we keep flooding the airways with this stuff, we're doing their PR for them.
I know when people see that stuff, they people have got to see this, because if they see this, they'll be against ISIS and they'll be against the Islamists and the jihadis, and everything. Well, you know what? If you're not already against them, chances are you're never going to be against them.
Exactly.
And,
exactly.
So when you spread the video around, when you post it up or hit share, or something like that, I mean, you got people now that are like, oh, it's another beheading. Yeah, some more people getting beaten up by muzzies,
Exactly.
Oh, look, they killed another cat, and pretty soon the whole world's like, muzzy schmuzzy, not a big deal.
Exactly. And that's Obama's whole plan. That's the Islamists, the jihadis. That's their plan, for us to accept them, not them to accept us.
Anyway,
and people need to wake up to that fact.
That's one of the things that's bugging me this week, is there's way too much of that stuff being posted around and shared around. I mean, we get it, folks. We get it. Okay?
Yeah.
They're bad people. They're barbarians. They're worse than animals. and something's got to be done. We get it.
And it's time. The rest of the country get it, but we don't need it by using their methods, because this is what they want us to do. One picture a day goes a long way.
Yeah, 10 goes a little too far.
Do one of a day. Yeah. I mean, it's just to the point. People are just going again, literally.
So anyway, what else is bugging you, Diane? What's bugging you?
Oh, gee. I really am bugged at people like Trey Gowdy and Isa and not so much Ted Cruz, because he is out there vocal, but I am bugged that I know they're on our side, and I know in the end they're going to do the right thing, but I am one of them that's getting a little, losing my patience. The difference is with me, I won't turn apathetic and run away. I'll just get angry. But I really want them to start asking these people the pertinent questions. Ask them about Obama's family ties. Ask them about the visits to the White House by his family, who is tied into terrorists. Ask the important questions. We can nail Obama. Those emails, I am positive, show Obama's connection. They must show Lois Lerner, and this is my opinion, saying, yes, I took care of your brother. They've got the status. Yes, I took care of your grandmother. They've got the status. People won't realize it, that I did it and this and that. But guess what, folks? I personally have a letter that I was able to take off the internet before it was taken down, of Lois Lerner sending a letter to Malik Obama that she personally had approved his 501c3 status, and it's from the date of the missing emails.
There you go.
Okay? Now, if I can do it, and all I am is a snoopy little reporter, if I can do it, Trey Gowdy, Darrell Issa, and the others can do it. I know they can do it, and they have probably done it. But now is the time to use it. We're running out of time here, folks. November will be here faster than you think. We need some breaking major thing to help us turn the Senate back red in big numbers, and crashing the IRS and tying Obama into it, directly into it, will be the thing that will help us take our country back.
Well, and folks, there's a lot that bugged me this week. And you know how I am when it comes down to Friday fumes.
Yes.
I got to get it off my chest, folks, or I'm going to have a miserable weekend. So yesterday, in the Friday fume, I went off on a few things in there. First of all, Detroit. Have you seen Detroit lately, folks? I mean, seriously.
Have you smelled Detroit lately, folks?
Well, they shut off the water to a few thousand people in Detroit. And then you've got a welfare rights group, of all things, coming out and saying that you can't shut our water off. Somebody else is going to have to pay our bills. Well, the water department in Detroit, they sent these bills out. They weren't paid. As soon as they shut the water off, half the people that they shut the water off to came in and paid in full. So it's not that they can't pay, it's that they won't pay, and the reason they won't pay is because they're liberals and somebody else will pay for them.
Exactly.
But, folks, they went to the United Nations of thugs, despots, and thieves, and they're trying to get the United Nations to order Detroit to turn the water back on.
Yeah, like the United Nations has the authority to turn the water back on in American City. Well, maybe with Obama, he'll give them permission. But guess what, folks? They don't have the right nor the permission to do that.
Well, they're going to try it anyway. Folks, in the nationalpatriot.com yesterday, the Friday fume, if you missed it, you got to go read it. But let me tell you what else is going on here. We got Obama, the greeny weenie dictator. And he thinks now his climate change action plan is going to keep people from getting sick and prevent people from dying. Now, I'm not making this up.
Yes.
I am not making this up. He said that once his climate change action plan is fully implemented, or in his case, mandated, he, the boil on the buttocks of dictatorships everywhere, will, by his divine power, prevent 3,300 heart attacks from happening, 150,000 asthma attacks from happening, and will, because he's awesome, prevent 6,600 deaths from occurring. Are you kidding
don't
me?
think so. You know, I have said this till I am blue in the face. There is no such thing as climate change, folks.
Diane, it gets better. It gets better. He wants a string of solar-powered... You think the solar-powered carport was something? He wants solar-powered military bases.
The man is an ass. What more can we say? Climate change is the weather, folks. Nothing he does is going to affect the weather. He might think of himself as God, but he's not God. He's not going to affect the weather. It's naturally occurring weather cycles, Obama. Can you understand that? Can those simple words get through that thick skull of yours? Nothing you do is going to change the weather.
Once he gets a solar-powered military base, what's next? Solar-powered submarines? I mean, what in the world is this guy thinking? And folks, we were talking about the IRS and their lost emails. Do you know what's going on at the EPA? This really bugs me, folks. On Wednesday, the uproar over Lois Lerner's lost in cyberspace emails, the EPA informed the House Oversight Committee that they lost a whole wad of emails because they had a computer hard drive crash. Are you kidding me? Now, here's the deal. It seems like there's a certain EPA biologist who was involved in some sort of a mining thing up in Alaska, and his emails have been requested for an investigation as to whether or not the EPA was trying to pull a fast one, and gosh almighty, they can't produce them because his hard drive crashed. And then you've got this guy, who's actually a lady but looks like a dude, Gina McCarthy, the head of the EPA, says, quote, "I don't believe this is a missing hard drive issue. There's a challenge getting access to the data on it. I'm still hoping we recover all those emails." Yeah, well, stuff that in your brassiere.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
look,
folks, this is all a cover. You crash all of them. Oh, it can't. See, it wasn't just the IRS. It's across the board. We didn't do anything bad. This is a setup, folks.
Diane, it's not the only problem they're having at the EPA. Oh, it gets much worse than their hard drive crash. Oh, I'm telling you right now. According to the EPA Region 8 director in Denver, Colorado, somebody has been plugging up their toilets in the Denver office and leaving crap on the floor in the hallway. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
now,
my gosh.
Here's the deal. You wonder, well, how in the world would we find out about this? Apparently, because the only email the EPA could find dealt with this. Now, the EPA, unsure, of course, of how to proceed, used our taxpayer dollars to hire a consultant, and not just a garden variety consultant, but a workplace violence specialist, some guy named John Nicoletti, who I'm sure after considerable effort and considerable expense, concluded that pooping in the hallway is both icky and an office safety issue because, you see, somebody could be walking down the hallway, just strolling along with a computer hard drive in their hand, slip on a randomly placed turd, and the next thing you know, a whole basket load of emails go missing. And, of course, you know how the EPA is. That crap is going to sit right where it is in the hallway for the next 3 years while they conduct an environmental case study impact on what's going to happen to the hallway ecosystem if they remove it.
You know, I got a suggestion for them. You know, the underwear that the Amnesty group wants you to send to the White House? Maybe go buy, you know, some underwear, put all the crap in there and send it to the White House. I mean, what is they need a study to pick up crap from the floor?
They had to hire a consultant, Diane, and it gets worse. It gets worse because they have no idea who's been doing the doo-doo in the hallway. But I think I can help them out. They need to ask themselves these two questions. Is there anybody at the EPA today who seems to be a little less full of crap than they were yesterday? And are there any liberal socialist EPA workers whose heads have recently popped out of their asses? Or has Obama been to Denver lately? Because everywhere he goes, he leaves a trail of poo. Now, here's what the EPA Region 8 director said. Here's what the EPA Region 8 director said. He said, management is taking this situation very seriously and will take whatever actions are necessary to identify and prosecute these individuals. Oh, yeah? Seriously? I don't think it needs to come down to a federal court case if people would just realize that this scat scandal at the EPA is par for the course. Our entire government is being run by monkeys who think nothing of flinging feces in the foyer. And the bigger issue is Obama crapping on our Constitution.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. You know what, Craig? He was out on some fundraisers recently. Maybe we need to check and see if he was in Colorado at that time.
I'm just saying, that's something that bugs me.
Oh, it bugs me too.
I'm, you know, and if I don't get this stuff off my chest, folks, in the Friday Fume, can you imagine what I would be like all weekend?
Oh, dear. And I have to deal with this man on a daily basis. No, he needs the Friday Fume. Trust me, he needs the Friday Fume.
Good Lord. Well, they're looking for 6X underwear at the border, and you got people crapping in the hallway at the EPA. I'll tell you what, let the illegals go commando and send Depends to the EPA.
Oh, okay. Okay.
God's sakes, people, what are we thinking here? Diane, we've only got a few minutes left in the show, and this is the weekend before the big weekend. Now, Diane and I will be back. We'll be here on Wednesday doing our regular thing for Right Side Patriots and CPR on Wednesday. But we've got a major holiday, a major travel holiday coming up. And I know a lot of people are going to be on the road this week because they're going to string this holiday out, make a vacation out of it. And that's fantastic. Okay?
Yes.
But wherever you're going and however you're traveling, be careful out there. You know, I mean, maybe you're not the one that's going to drink and drive, but somebody else is. So keep on the lookout for them.
Yes.
And whatever you do, just do it with the knowledge that you still, just barely, live in a free country. Okay, don't forget the true meaning of Independence Day, which is coming up on Friday, because this is the day that we celebrate taking control and giving birth to a nation. It's not that we gave birth to a picnic or fireworks display or a parade on Main Street. We gave birth to a nation.
Yes.
238 years ago. And, let's all go out and celebrate, do whatever we can to mark the occasion. But do it carefully and do it with respect for your country and for other people.
Exactly. And remember always the principles our Judeo-Christian nation was founded upon. Remember also that all of us are endowed with inalienable rights, every single one of us. And let's honor also on this holiday our troops who are still fighting overseas. Let's honor our veterans who have fought to keep us free. And also, folks, Craig mentioned be careful about the drinking and driving. Also be careful, folks, about those on the road with road rage. Be careful as you drive in general, and just have a great weekend. Celebrate the birth of our nation, and we'll see you all soon.
We'll be back on Wednesday, folks. If you missed last Wednesday's show, it's coming up in about 5 minutes right here on CPR Worldwide Media. It's been great to have you on board today for another Saturday edition of Right Side Patriots. Diane and I will be back live on Wednesday. Folks, have yourselves a great weekend. Don't do anything we wouldn't, but if you do, don't name it after us. Say goodbye, Diane.
Bye, guys.
Go find a network wants to treat me right. Y'all can take the change and stick it out of sight. Don't tread tread on me. Don't you tread on me. Hey, are you ready for some good news? We're gonna take back our country. Well, it used to be easy, get a place, build a house. Now the EPA said no, that's the home of the blue mouse. Don't tread on me. Don't you tread on me. We're gonna use some common sense and we're gonna take back our country. Well, they've beaten to death that pole race horse. This politically correct thing has run its course. Don't tread on me. Don't you tread on me. Hey, are you ready for some good news? We're gonna take back our country. YouTube and Bing, lots of divorces from showing them bangs. Why don't you mind your own business? That's good advice. Mind your own business. Dad got it right. But if you mind your business, then you won't be minding mine. Every sign says for sale, for lease, price reduced, make an offer, please. Don't tread on me. Don't you tread on me. Hey, are you ready for some good news? We're gonna take back our country. There's no way today we could build Boulder Dam. There'd be way too many government permit scams. Don't tread on me. Don't you tread on me. Hey, are you ready for the good news? We're gonna take back this country. Hey, Barack, pack your bags, head to Chicago. Take your teleprompter with you so you'll know where to go. So move it all